I love when Amy goes into mom mode. Look at her eyes. Oh, she's trying to be mom and be in this meeting at the same time. Huh? Huh? Yeah, you go away, kid. Yeah, you keep on walking. You ain't
Cuss him
playing that
out.
game.
Cuss him out.
That's a quick little chuckle just so he thinks he's on good standing, but he ain't. Yeah, that's the way that goes. Mom, Amy, working and being a mom. Oh, you're still getting ready, Amy.
Hey, you know what happened? At least I have my mic on, don't I? Because sometimes these small people suck up their time. So we're gonna work through the show. Get your hair back.
You're gonna go curly to straight throughout the show tonight.
Yep, that's
good
right.
evening, everyone. By the way, did y'all notice something outside today? The sun set a full 2 seconds later than it did yesterday. 1,000, 2,000. The days are still technically getting shorter because the sun's rising later in the morning. But guess what? We've gotten over the hurdle, and the sunsets are going to get later and later till June. Yeah.
Yes.
Although
we did it.
We didn't even really see the sun today, so then there's that.
Right. And 2020, though, we got to celebrate the small wins.
Yeah,
Girl,
we will for sure. Hey, this is a big win. Obviously, vaccines, huge news today. Locally, Governor Pritzker in his COVID-19 press conference today announcing that the vaccines are expected here in Illinois. They'll have a review board, make sure everything's all good, but expecting about 400,000 Moderna vaccines here in the near future. He says there's not going to be a mandate, though, for people that work in state facilities. But if they don't get a vaccine, they may be reassigned or change the way they work. To minimize their risk of spreading the virus to other people. He also says the state thinks that they will have something to designate who has or hasn't had a vaccine, either on their passport or some card to let people know.
Yeah, and what is being called the shot heard around the world? London began administering the COVID-19 vaccine today, the first Western country to receive it. Now, the first person to get it was a 90-year-old woman. Vaccination campaign expected to take several months before they get through. The second person to get it, 81-year-old William Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare. How British.
William Shakespeare.
Yeah, well, shouts out to William Shakespeare. Interesting name there. But I'm really happy to see that this process is being started. It feels like maybe we could see a light at the end of the tunnel at some point. However, I still feel like this is a really long tunnel. So just a couple numbers that I got. The FDA was reporting that Pfizer's 95% effective. AstraZeneca, their vaccine is supposed to be 75 or 70% effective. Also, I know China has its own vaccine. Russia has its own vaccine. Like, why can't we get on one page? We need to find the best vaccine. Also, they're saying that we won't be able to choose what we're given at our health provider. So we can't choose the best vaccine either. That's what the reports are saying at this point in time. So already this feels like there's going to be a series of just a lot of inequity that's going to keep us from getting the best health care to everyone.
Well, clearly, there's a lot to navigate through this vaccination distribution, to be sure. My question is it weird? I find it a little strange that the governor talked about having a marking on your passport or something saying that you've been vaccinated. Is that just what we have to do to kind of, as we ease back into normal life? It makes me feel just a little bit weird. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, be thankful you're not getting chipped like a dog, right? That could be the next step. Who knows?
Yeah, okay.
That is the next step.
But I also am thankful. Yeah, I'm thankful for that because as someone who plans on getting a vaccine as soon as I possibly can in my time when it falls, probably, early to late spring, I want to know that the people around me are vaccinated too, because there's still the question out there too is even if you are vaccinated, are you still carrying the virus potentially in your nasal passages? Because then could I get it from you and then potentially bring it home, even though I can't actually get sick from it? And on the vaccination front, Felicia, a lot of that happened because President Trump decided not to side with a number of countries and chose certain providers that he was going to buy from. And that's why you're going to get a couple of different ones here that you're not going to see in other places. Also, Moderna has a vaccine that's out in the 90th percentile range for effectiveness. Yeah. So, at this point, I am happy to get what I get, but I am with you. There's going to be a lot of skepticism and concern out there.
Yeah. I'll be waiting on Dr. Fauci and for Amy Rutledge when she gets her vaccine.
You can give me the 40% effective one that hasn't. You can give me the off-market one. I don't even care. I'll do like the Jewel brand kind. Whatever you need to pump in me, I'll take it.
Honey, I'm paying full price for this one.
Yeah.
Full price. Okay. Well, more than 221,000 people received a PPP loan, you know, the Paycheck Protection Program, that loan. In Illinois, the SBA rather, pumped out $23 billion. Some businesses saw thousands, hundreds and thousands of dollars of that, while some other small businesses saw $73. So it's unclear exactly how things like that happen. Obviously, certain people are getting shortchanged in that. The program isn't 100% effective like we need it to be because they rolled it out in the middle of a pandemic. They rushed it, but clearly it's not working.
Yeah, and I also wonder too, were there discrepancies also because of how you fill out the paperwork to get it? Like, were people not filling them out correctly to get the amount they should get for their business? And I'm not saying there isn't something potentially shady going on, but I also wonder, you know, humans filling out paperwork, they don't always do it correctly. Look at unemployment. It's difficult. Sometimes it's convoluted. Is that part of the problem?
Well, and in a lot of cases, you had to get the right lender to know to get the relief that you were searching for. I just think that and this was a salon that got $73. This woman who runs this place was like, what the heck am I going to do with $73?
Nothing.
It's almost more insulting to get that than to get nothing. And it's just like, what a butchering of this shocker by our federal government, having some companies that don't need it. Remember, they had to give back millions because of the bad PR that some of them got. And the fact that we are now languishing and Mitch McConnell's not coming to the table, and frankly, Nancy Pelosi hasn't come to the table enough to get another one passed, this is trouble, a real troubling time.
This is huge trouble. I mean, the effects of this has been absolutely devastating to small businesses. And Amy, to your point, you know, my family received a PPP loan, and there was a lot of issues with trying to get the application in and fill it out appropriately. And then the banks didn't release the money swiftly, just because they didn't work out all of their idiosyncrasies and how they're going to do this in their processes and their systems. So yeah, this has been a lot for small business owners.
Yeah.
Hey, this story has been Twitter feed all day long. So Karamo, who hosts the new version of Queer Eye on Netflix and is a friend of our show, has been on our show. He's teaming up with the Salvation Army, and the Salvation Army has been on our show, done live shots with them too. But he posted on Twitter a boomerang of him working with him, encouraging people to donate to the Red Kettle campaign. The Salvation Army really making a lot of efforts right now to get more and more people involved on this. There's the post. But in the replies, he is getting lambasted because, look, the Salvation Army does not have a great history in terms of its relationship with the LGBTQ community. And to their defense, to their credit, they've said that that their services do not discriminate. And they have a transgender house for teens that are transgender in San Francisco. So I think they're trying to right some of these wrongs. But an obviously out gay person like Karamo publicly endorsing has gotten him under a lot of fire.
Yeah, I mean, their relationship with the LGBTQ community has come under fire as recent as 2004 in California. So it's still pretty fresh in a lot of people's memories. So I can understand people's going to Karamo and saying, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. At the same time, the only way you're going to make change is to change things up. And I think the fact that he is helping out as a public figure, speaking out, it's just more good for the people who need it.
Yeah. So that's my question is, if they are reaching out to Karamo and they're choosing Karamo to be a part of what they're doing, isn't that a sign of good faith? I mean, at some point, don't you move on and you try to grow and evolve? I think we're just kind of have to resolve this as there's not one clear label or one clear broad stroke here, because the fact is the Salvation Army does a lot of good for the community, and there have been some unfortunate events on the Salvation Army's behalf. But they put out this message that they are for everyone and they are here to help everyone. Maybe they need a little more PR behind that, but they're taking steps.
Yeah, I've done a live shot with the Salvation Army beforehand, but before I agreed to do it, I wanted them to address this on camera about their record with LGBTQ. And to their credit, they said, absolutely, we will. And so the first hit we did and talked to them at the Red Kettle, we talked about this. And they brought up those things about how they are helping people in real time. They do not discriminate their help. So I see it, and I know that they're trying to change. And that's the point that I would say, look, organizations a lot of organizations have bad LGBTQ history. A lot of politicians have terrible LGBTQ history.
A lot of people
change. Yes, a lot of people I know, a lot of words I've said in my past that aren't good. So I think that organizations that make that effort are a good thing. And yeah, I think he maybe is getting a little shade, but maybe he needs to be a little more forthright about it and why he's doing it. And that would maybe help.
Yeah, maybe it just needs a conversation. Yeah.
Because that shade also can help educate a lot of people too. So not always a bad thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's true. Brandon, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? It turns out the pandemic hasn't changed everything at work. The one complaint that is actually on the rise. And another Big Ten game has been canceled over COVID. Or has it? Yeah, there's a conspiracy theory flying around about that Ohio State-Michigan game. We'll talk about it when the Jam returns. Brandon Pope here with the news you need to know. A new study from UC Berkeley has found that even in a pandemic, complaints of workplace sexual harassment have actually increased. Now, several of the comments came from men who were customers asking employees to remove their masks, some things that are listed in the study that women had heard. One man said, "I'll take your mask off and stick my tongue down your throat." Another said some pretty vile things. Constantly asking for people to wear their mask. And one man actually said, "I don't wear a condom. I don't want to wear a mask either." Something like that. He made that sort of, some sort of equivalence there. So this was, at first the headline itself was startling, like that workplace harassment on the rise. But when you see what exactly it is and that a lot of it's coming from customers, it kind of shows a lot about our political environment and all of a sudden how these masks are really getting people, for lack of a better term, overly sensitive over this. It's ridiculous.
Well, I think what's happened too is people have turned into Twitter trolls, into online social media trolls because they are wearing a mask. So now they can do it out in public because now you don't know who I am if I have a mask on and I can be the biggest a-hole I want to, and you don't necessarily know who I am unless I paid with a credit card. So I feel like it's giving people this freedom that they think that they should have, or to say stuff that they've wanted to before. It's weird.
I don't think it's shocking that a pandemic would bring out the ugliest in people. I mean, I also want to add that we just got off a nasty election season, and I can't wait till we're over the hump of this leadership change, and maybe we can see some sense of decency. But I guess the PSA, the lesson here is raise better sons and daughters. We know that sexual harassment happens on both sides, so just be better, people. Do better.
Yeah, I don't mean to put Brandon on the spot, but Brandon, why are straight men so terrible at most No, and in reality, this happens in LGBT communities, and it also happens women towards men, but predominantly it happens men towards women. I don't know. Men are terrible sometimes. And look, it doesn't matter the venue in which they'll do it. I think you lose a little of that veneer of you're separated from someone and you say things to a camera or to a computer, you feel more comfortable saying, like, you're going to be able to get away with it a little bit better. Like the old adage, like, you're not going to say something to someone's face. Even though we are face to face here, I think that being in different places sort of changes that a little bit.
I'll answer your question, John. The answer is privilege as to why straight men are acting up. It really is. I mean, that's really all it comes down to. Some other news you need to know this evening. The Army has punished 14 senior officers at Fort Hood after reviewing the murder of soldier Vanessa Guillen and several other deaths. Alderman Tom Tunney's Lakeview restaurant and a Wicker Park club that allowed 140 maskless patrons have been slapped with citations by the city. And Michigan has canceled the greatest rivalry in college football, the game, with Ohio State after a rise in COVID cases in their program. The first time they are not playing each other since 1918. There is a little bit of a conspiracy theory going around out there. Michigan has lost, 10 straight matchups, 10 straight years to Ohio State. They are most certainly going to lose this one. Many feeling like Michigan was going to cancel this game regardless, and maybe their COVID cases aren't as bad as they're making it out to be. They just didn't want to get a beat down. Who knows? I'm just throwing it out there. That's what the streets are saying.
I like the way you threw it out there, Brandon, because you also threw it out there like, the Buckeyes were going to kill him anyway. So, not showing whose side you're on, I by any stretch of the imagination.
Me, I'm so objective when it comes to this. So objective, okay? I'm seeing through it so clearly out of my Buckeyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the last time they didn't play was 1918. Do you know why, Brandon?
Why is that, John?
The Great Flu Pandemic of 1918. There's some symmetry here.
There you go. Wow. Right. How about that? You learned something new.
History bomb. There you go.
History bomb. That is, you guys are the bomb. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll have much more coming up after this.
Thanks, Amy.
Go Buckeyes. No wait.
It's getting colder in Chicago. Lots of things are shut down because of the pandemic. So how do you keep the kids and yourself sane during the winter months? Clinical psychologist and author Dr. Claire Nicogossian has some tips. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
We got worried when winter started creeping up because in the summer, so many things got sold out that we thought we had to buy everything to keep them busy during the winter. What do we do?
I know we're spending a lot of time inside. It's colder. We need to stay at home orders for across, different places of the country. So yes, we are inside a lot. And I think preparing for that as much as you stock your pantry, have those activities that little ones and kids can do that is beyond the screens. Because what we find is, as you know, as a parent, these kids are on the screens all the time. So we want to have some of the downtime that's screen free.
So what do we do with them? And for me, the hard part is too, is because the age gap is pretty wide. So I have a 10-year-old and two 3-year-olds. So how do you entertain one and then keep the other two going?
I know. So that takes a little bit of planning, definitely ahead of the game. I think what's most important for parents that I'm doing myself with for 4 kids at home and encouraging clients to do is really you want to have a routine and a schedule. Kids feel secure when they know what to expect. So try to get up at the same time every day, go to bed around the same time, and have a certain routine that you have lunch or snacks, quiet time at the same time. So that is really important. With the different age gaps, I think it's critical for parents to talk to their child and say, okay, you're going to get X amount of screen time to watch a movie or play a game. So let's have a basket that we're going to put your busy activities. It could be coloring, it could be Play-Doh, it could be crafting. What do they want to put in their little basket? A book that they can go to. So when it's that quiet time, it's all ready to go.
Oh, that's a good idea. You also say that it's important to take care of your physical health too.
Yeah, so one of the great things about, going through, stressful times is that you learn how important it is to get sleep, stay hydrated, nourish yourself, and get your body moving. That is going to be the foundation of how you're going to cope. And all of us are experiencing that with the pandemic, that we are seeing the importance of getting out and getting moving, getting a rest, staying on a routine. So that is so important. When our physical health is depleted, when we're sleep deprived, when we're hungry, when we have a headache, it creates overwhelm. And then we don't access really intentional coping skills when we're stressed. So we may become more reactive, and that tends to, create stress in parenting and in our own lives. So the better rested you are and the better you're taking care of your physical health, you can access those really good coping skills to manage your mental health.
And I like this one. You said engage in activities that bring you joy. Don't just do stuff that you like.
Exactly. So a lot of times people think, oh, happiness is something that's just going to come to me. It's this passive activity. And actually we need to schedule activities of joy. We need to have things to look forward to. And even with the limitations of the pandemic, we can do small little rituals or things that we love to do every day or on the weekends that will bring us some happiness, some contentment, some reduce our stress. So we need to schedule those. And this is the thing that's important to know about activities of joy, is that only you can know what's meaningful to you. So you have to do a little self-discovery and figure out, make a list of those things that bring you some peace, some calm, and help you feel centered.
Fantastic. Dr. Claire, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
And for more information on this topic, you can follow Dr. Claire on social media, and her book, Mama, You Are Enough, How to Create Calm, Joy, and Confidence Within the Chaos of Motherhood is available now.
It is the season to show off your holiday lights, everyone. We want you to check out some homes that have been shared with us recently. We love showing off the bright lights that we've had, because we have had a lot of them. Look at this one. This one comes from Allsip. Hey, shout out Allsip, looking good.
Woo-hoo,
I like the projection on the house, but I like the lights there too.
Yes.
Ooh, a blow up reindeer. Look at the horns on that thing. That is big. And some characters there. Oh, the Nava family.
Yeah.
Nice work there. All right, who else we got? Ooh, classic. The fence all done up like that. Snowflakes projected. Okay. And an outline of the house. I really enjoy that. Nice job, the Guerrero family on 61st Street. So snap a photo, share with us at cw26chicago.com. We are partnering with ComEd's Energy Efficiency Program to bring you holiday lights. And we want to feature more of your houses, folks. We'll be back. Felicia and I have gotten the mom look from Amy, though, too. It is
Okay,
a
so
stare down.
no one is noticing what Lily's doing. She's
No, I was just going to say, what the heck is happening here?
Oh, man, the year we were blown away by the littlest technology, 2020, when
But you know what I'm
filters
so
became...
bummed out about?
What?
My computer is old and I can't do that. So I was like, man,
sorry,
technology.
It's a real bummer. We didn't get that one, but maybe we'll show it later. But you make your eyebrows bigger and smaller, and I was wondering if Felicia, are you doing that right now, or are those your natural ones?
Very funny. Was that a dig? Was that a dig?
It's a little dig,
Actually,
Felicia. Let me
I have a
dig.
natural thick brow that gets filled in just a little bit because you got to have proper brow grooming when you're on television.
Brows are huge.
This is all filled
Eyebrows
in,
are
Felicia. I'm not trying to judge you. I got to paint the beard to make sure it's gone gray like Santa Claus. I have to make it a little bit darker. So.
How's the belly coming along?
How's the belly coming along? Oh,
yeah.
You know the answer to that question, and it's not good. It's not joyful, and it's full
good?
of jelly. Here we go, everybody. Tuesday night. Feeling good, feeling great. Amy, Felicia, and myself are going to get you till 7 o'clock. Then it's up to you. We can only get you so far, people. So Dr. Phil will try and help you afterwards, but I don't know.
And I apologize right now. My children are laying down over the vents right above my head going, Mommy, Mommy.
I was like, if they're trying to listen to what you're saying, they can just turn on the television and they'll get the whole.
No, they don't care about
that's a little heartwarming, though. No, Amy? A little bit?
A little heartwarming.
Well, not only is it Taco Tuesday, it's also time for some moon news. Are you ready?
Oh, this is not moon news. No, you don't get to steal my segment. No, this is star news, celestial news. Yeah.
It's not moon news, but it is happening in outer space. It's called the Great Conjunction, also known as the Christmas star. And we haven't seen it in nearly 800 years. And it's when Jupiter and Saturn appear at their closest. They come within like a tenth of a degree of each other. And it's going down December 21st. That's when we can catch it. But they're saying that the Adler Planetarium is saying that we should be able to start seeing it around December 16th or 17th, which is also a special day because it's my birthday. And that's gonna that's gonna wrap up your round of moon star news.
No, don't steal it from me. And I just have one thing to say. Why in the hell would you name it the Christmas star if it hasn't come at Christmas for 800 years? You'd think you'd want to name the Christmas star as something you see at least every Christmas or two, like every couple of Christmases it comes. Not one that comes like once a millennium. Like, why are they naming things that? That's stupid.
Well, from what I understand, something happened on Christmas that was supposed to be kind of a once-in-a-lifetime event, something extremely special that a lot of people celebrate.
Okay.
So maybe it's because it was, the day.
Well, I was going to say, it was a few thousand years ago, but you're not talking about that either. Okay.
No, but I'm talking about the fact that they name it after that because it was such a special event. It only happens, there you go.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Okay. He makes all the kids go crazy when he steps out onto the screen with his dog, Blue. You can catch a very busy Josh De La Cruz on season 2 of Blue's Clues and You. Josh, have you ever been out in public and had the kids recognize who you are?
Yes, it's more, but to be honest, it's more like the parents. The parents are like, wait, are you Blue's Clues? I'm like, yeah. My favorite look that I'll get from kids is they'll hit me with one of these. What are you doing out here?
You're supposed to be on the screen, not there.
Why aren't you with Blue? But yeah, it's always a lovely surprise, and thankfully all of the interactions have been nothing but positive, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, I'm glad it's positive in your end because I had 2 screaming kids last night when I turned you off at 7:30 to put them to bed.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But it's because they like you that much, and that is so cool. I mean, this must have been a crazy role for you to get. I mean, you were a Broadway veteran, and then to go to this world must be so different.
There's so many similarities and so many differences, mainly being that there's nothing on screen with me. So it's just a green void that I have, and I'm acting to pieces of tape. And then if I'm lucky, I'll get like a tennis ball. But thankfully, I have an army on the other side of the camera that's doing everything in their power to make sure that I know what I'm doing. So my on-set assistant, Ashley, is my scene partner. And so all of our timing comes from her. We have animation directors. We have our live action director, our entire team. It's a labor of love every episode. So while it is a little bit, it was foreign when I first started. It feels like home. Like it's wonderful.
So season 2 is out now. You're in production with season 3. You've got Josh and Blue, the podcast, and then tell us about Crazy Talented Asians that's coming out soon.
Okay, so Crazy Talented Asians is an event. It's a streaming show that is going to happen on December 13th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's hosted by the amazing AJ Raphael and Alyssa Navarro, and it's got incredible talent on there. Dante Bosco is going to be on there. Jules Aurora is going to be on there. Isa Briones is going to be on there. So many people are performing on this event, and it's to celebrate East West Players, which is a theater company in LA that was started in 1965. One of the founding members is James Hong, who is one of the most prolific Asian actors in our history, you know, paving the way for Asian actors to do work and to do better work. And so they started the theater company in 1965 as an outlet for Asian actors to act outside of the stereotypical roles that they were being casted in at the time. And I'm so blessed and so happy to be singing some holiday, to bring in some holiday cheer on December 13th.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Of course, I'll see you later on this afternoon on the TV. And you can keep up with Blues Clues and You, Josh, on all of the social media handles, and also all the details on Crazy Talented Asians on December 13th, right there on your screen.
All righty, Apple has released AirPods Max. All right, crazy new product. Oh, wait, those are headphones. That's what we call those. They are AirPods Max, otherwise known as headphones.
Headphones.
Just had to repeat the joke so people got it. They also cost you, I don't care. I love how Apple does that. They deconstruct it like I give two you-know-whats about what it looks like. But here's what I care about. $549 is the price tag for this sucker. Come on.
Right. I better be able to hear the voice of God through those. God better come down and tell me everything I need to know for $549.
Yeah, right?
Hey, but they're wireless.
No, that didn't get it. Because the other AirPods are wireless too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But they're cheaper than the other ones, right?
Oh, who knows? And who cares about a little cord? If a cord bothers you in life, I don't want to finish that thought. But yes. Oh, by the way, everyone head to our Instagram page. Krista has a really funny take on it too in our Instagram story at the Jam TV show. Follow it, look, because of course Krista tackled this one as well.
Yeah, I say I'm not going to get it. Watch me end up in January, December 26th with new headphones.
Well, we look forward to that, Joe.
Taking pictures on Instagram.
God's giving me all the good word, let me tell you.
I hope he comes and speaks to me like that. I need it in my life. Okay. Well, Chaz Ebert, you know, the wife of the late Roger Ebert, the movie critic. Well, she's a media maven in her own right. And like the rest of us, she struggled with life in lockdown too, and discovered the best way to channel her emotions was through music.
I never thought of myself as a songwriter, although I do remember that when I was a kid, I did write a song and write a few other songs. But this particular one grew out of the pandemic. In April, we have our Day for Empathy. And I usually go out on the street to talk to people about being empathetic. And it was a commemoration of the day that my late husband, Roger Ebert, passed away. And he talked about empathy all the time. So because of the pandemic, we couldn't have the Day for Empathy. So I wrote a message saying, I was hearing from people who were talking about being lonely. We had gone into shutdown and sheltering in place. People were talking about being lonely. And I wrote a message, and someone said, your message actually sounds almost like a song. I remember people, because I couldn't sing, I reached out to Rashada Dewan, who is a Chicago actor, and she's, went on a tour with the Lion King, and she's toured all over the United States and in other countries as well, to sing for me. So she got her group called the Chicago Soul Spectacular, and they performed I Remember People for me. And I think they did a great job. I really love what they did with the song, and we have some plans to do some more things with it, but yeah, I hope it makes people feel good.
It certainly makes us feel good. You guys try following what she's doing and lean into your creative side at this time. If you want to watch the full music video and get the details on all things movies, head on over to rogerebert.com. Hey, B.
All right, guys, there's some hope out there for another round of stimulus checks. I'll tell you how in news you need to know when that comes up. And Space Jam 2, whether you like it or not, it's happening. LeBron has dropped some new details about the film. We'll talk all about it when the Jam returns. Stay right there. Brandon Pope here with the news you need to know. So the White House is pushing the Senate GOP to include $600 stimulus checks in its latest relief package. That's half of the original $1,200. COVID testing could begin at O'Hare and Midway airports for travelers and employees as soon as next week. And DoorDash is tacking on an extra $1.50 to Chicago orders. It's a response to the city capping the fees that delivery services can charge restaurants. Okay, now John and I, we were going back and forth before the show, trying to figure out what story we wanted to talk about. So we're going to let the ladies pick today. And here's what's on the menu. You could hear about the latest wild Spider-Man movie casting, or John.
You could hear about how the United States Supreme Court has rejected a lawsuit from Pennsylvania to hear the case. They're not going to hear it, or a pending lawsuit in SCOTUS that could happen about Texas trying to overturn the election.
Ooh, I fell asleep just hearing that. Wow.
Well, don't try and influence the jury.
I've already decided on which election results I'm accepting. So
I am with you, Felicia, and I have the interest of a 14-year-old boy, so Brandon wins in my book.
Yes! Victory over John Hanson. What a great day this is. Okay, so listen here. Spider-Man, there's going to be a Spider-Man 3, correct? The casting tree is wild for this. You may remember Tobey Maguire used to be Spider-Man, right? And he had Spider-Man 2 with Dr. Octopus. The guy that played Dr. Octopus, Alfred Molina, has reportedly been cast in the newest Spider-Man film. What? Okay. How does that work?
Because he died. Okay. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, you haven't seen Spider-Man 2 yet. Yes. It's probably time travel, a multiverse, but people have been thinking, are they going to combine all the Spider-Men together, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and the new kid, and do a Spider-Verse?
This franchise is so many movies. There's so many versions of this movie.
And it's funny because we had so many different Batmans, but I get confused by the different Spider-Mans a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I like the Spideyverse idea, though.
Yeah. You know what the thing is, though? It's interesting because the Supreme Court didn't even want to hear the case coming from Pennsylvania.
Wow.
They just completely rejected it. And
that's not
you know what Arbor Day is all about?
You lost the election.
You
lost the election.
That don't mean I can't complain about it. We see that from the top. Okay, I want to recount. I want to count again.
Mute his mic. You have violated the rule. Come on now.
All right, make love to LeBron James some more now, Brandon. If you want. Oh, you want one more Spider-Man thing? Okay, yeah.
No. Let's talk about LeBron James, another one of my loves.
Wait, no. Now I want to hear about SCOTUS. Now I want to hear about SCOTUS.
Now you want to hear about SCOTUS. Oh, wow.
We should do a whole show like this. Just, usher in and out different topics. Yeah.
What a pendulum swing.
We need to hear this. Yeah, we actually need to hear this because he's talking Space Jam.
Okay.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Yes, LeBron. He's revealed some more details about Space Jam 2, which is called Space Jam 2, A New Legacy. So it turns out the Monstars are not going to be in it, but there will be a game and some different alien foes that he'll be facing off against. Braun also says it's a father and son story, a son who doesn't want to play basketball, and a father who pushes him in a direction he does not want to go. So it sounds like a great sequel to me. What do y'all think?
I'm going to see it. I enjoyed the first Space Jam. I'm still a fan. I'm looking forward to the second one. I want to see how his acting goes, how LeBron James' acting goes. I think he actually might be good at it, probably better than Michael Jordan.
What?
Yes.
Felicia Lawrence.
Only with the acting.
No. Sorry.
Only with the acting. Let me be clear.
Have you seen Trainwreck?
Groundbreaking movie when Space Jam came out that I will not probably see the new one. I'll let Todd take the boys if they want to, but yeah, you know what? You can't top MJ.
Yeah. Hey guys, I got two things for you. Here's my 90s card and here's my Chicago card. I've never seen Space Jam.
What?
I'm sorry. I never have. I don't care. I never cared to. I don't like scientific, like sci-fi movies, and they play like aliens, right?
sci-fi.
Like, yeah, but
Sci-fi.
I
don't
guess
like
it
It's
is. I guess it is.
basketball.
any movie
It's
that's not rooted
cartoon.
in reality. No, I like a good historical drama, and I knew that those aliens weren't going to be playing no basketball.
Can we just
Well,
go
I
to
have
like a
the
3
VHS.
bucks? I'm done.
I'll loan you my VHS copy.
All right, that sounds good. Just got to find a VHS player to do
I
so.
got one of those too. Don't worry.
Oh, of course you
So
do.
disappointed.
All right, well,
So disappointed.
I'm
I
done
just had
with
to
you
throw
for
your
tonight,
segment
John.
through a loop because you won, Brandon. I just had to throw it away.
Quietest thing you've ever said is this. You keep
No,
one up
I got a lot more. I got a lot more where that came from.
You keep one up in it.
Did you guys know that there's video filters on Zoom?
Yeah,
Kristen-
only
Kristen
10
did a
months
segment on
in,
it.
Lily.
I don't know how I missed that, but the eyebrows are killing me. Look at this.
Yeah, see, there it is. Felicia's eyebrow.
There it is. All right, what's trending now? Actress Lori Loughlin's daughter is speaking out about the college admissions scandal that sent her parents to prison. So, Olivia J joined the ladies of Facebook's Red Table Talk, saying she was not aware her parents paid to get her admitted to the University of Southern California. She says the whole ordeal had been hard on her family and they simply want to move on. Not everyone at that table had kind words for her, that is for sure.
So much
inequality.
Inequality and inequity. That when you come to the table with something like this, it's like, child, please.
Right. No, I get that.
I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted with everything that we have to deal with as a community, and I just don't have the energy. At the end of the day, you're going to be okay because your parents are going to go in and they're going to do their 60 days and they're going to pay their fine. And you guys will go on and you'll be okay and you will live your life.
Right. Yeah.
So what I really liked about this actually was the very beginning of the segment before they even had her come out and sit down at the table, when it was Jada Pinkett Smith, her mom, and Willow sitting there talking about whether or not they should even have her on the show, because having her on the show, they say, was the definition of white privilege. At least that's what Jada Pinkett Smith's mom said. So it was that back and forth, and hearing the dynamic between her and her mother and Willow and how each one of them took her reaching out to them was fascinating and really eye-opening too, because it was interesting to see how it was just received by them. Now, I didn't see the whole thing with her at the Red Table Talk. You know, listen, she's a kid. Do I think she screwed up? I do. Do I think she knew nothing? I don't. I think she knew what was going on to some extent. And yeah, she's a white privileged kid, and this is what happened.
Yeah. I think I'm glad that they kind of, in a sense, fell on the sword, though, to have her on the show and I mean, I guess I want to say like welcome that white privilege, giving her that platform, just because I think it was an important conversation that needed to be had. And I'm glad that they did it. I love that show. They've had a lot of important conversations since it started. I am going to make sure that I see the rest of that interview. But this is something that we have to talk about, and we have to be aware of what's happening in the world. And somebody on Twitter, it was funny, but they were like, I don't think anybody has ever talked to her like that before. And I would bet my money on it. No one has ever spoken to her like that before about those topics, about the community and her place in the world and how she can be a part of it or hurt it. I think that's important and it matters.
Yeah, for me, and she seemed to be very receptive to what was being heard. She shut up and listened, which I think is the most important thing. What I think the most important thing is not whether she learns her lesson or not, because she is one person, but she's got millions of followers. And I saw on her Instagram that she posted it. She posted that important moment too of her, that lecture kind of being given to her. All right, so now a lot of people that are in similar circumstances, not quite maybe as well off, but young white people can see what is being told to them through another lens that maybe they wouldn't have heard anywhere else. So the number of avenues we can at least have that unbridled conversation happening, the better, to hear to as many people as possible.
Also toss out there, though, that this is Hollywood. There was clearly a discussion beforehand to how this was going to go.
For sure.
Of course, she was advised by attorneys to do less talking and, do more listening, we hope, right? She has to have PR people that were like, we're going to do this. And those clips were certainly posted for a reason. Just throwing out the Hollywood aspect. Nonetheless, still a good conversation.
My favorite moment was in the beginning when Jada Pinkett Smith said, I am not going to do to her what other white women have done to me in my life. And this is how you change the cycle of all of this. And I was like, that's right. Whether you like her or not.
Now, I forget. I get my spoiled kids confused. Was she the one that was on the crew team, but not really? I forget which one that was.
I think they both were, technically, weren't they?
Were they both on? Yeah, I don't know. Oh,
yeah.
A little
sprinkle, a little fraud in there.
Yeah.
Just a little hint of fraud.
We'll be back.
Oh, this is fast.
All right, time for Deep Dish. We're getting deep, Felicia.
Deep dish. Okay, so there's this new trend, okay, of a couple splitting the cost of an engagement ring. So I would ask, would you ever? I'm gonna change that to could you ever? Because I could not in Hades. I could not.
Wow.
In a millisecond, I absolutely could. I've said this before. I don't care about the cost of the ring. I think it's silly to spend a ton of money on this perfectly beautiful large diamond, whatever. Give me something that's, cheaper, less perfect, smaller. I don't care. And I will help pay for it because we're in it together.
Yeah, I agree. Split it down the middle or something. Go cheap. That's the best way to do it. I know Brandon doesn't want to split the cost because he's actually expecting his soon-to-be, eventual wife. She's going to pay for the whole thing, right, Brandon?
Exactly.
Yes. You don't got the cash for that.
Let her handle it.
Look at that Christmas tree behind you. You ain't got the cash for a good ring.
This is a very nice tree. Wait a second.
What is that? What is it? The top 1 inch of it?
It's a very cute little tree.
I want to hear his answer. I want to hear his answer. Are you splitting the engagement ring cost? Yes or no?
I would never split. No. But why even get an engagement ring?